Second rounders starting to sign. Some praise for the Bears offensive line. That rhymed. I did not even mean to do that. We got a great show for you coming up on a Friday here on CHGO Bears. It starts right now. Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast. It is Friday, July 18th. We are almost to training camp. We are just a few days away from the relaunch of Hoge and Johns, officially on CHGO as well, Carmen. That's coming your way on Monday. So make sure you guys are getting that Die Hard deal. It's available all month long, but Johnsy's already pumping out columns. Great stuff. You can read it at allchgo.com, and a couple different Die Hard options for you available. If you want the hat, if you want the t-shirt, it's all there for you. But welcome in. It's Carmen and myself today. It's Braggs. Once again, he gets paid to go to the Cubs game and sit in the bleachers.
You know, it's Red Sox there today. It's a huge opportunity for Gregory to just impact the sports world in so many ways. So I'm happy for Greg. I'd also like to say that I'm happy for me. It's a coincidence, but Hoge and Johns on Monday means that I don't have to work on Monday. Not really, doesn't quite mean that, because we'll be there Tuesday through Saturday next week with training camp, which is unbelievable that it's actually here. But you know, then we have a show on that day off, so that's a beautiful thing. The other thing is, I don't know what day watch we're on here, but so Adam Hoge, I'm gonna start doing this every show that we do. Have you read my Tyson Bagent piece and or watched the interview? Has that happened yet?
Nope.
Yeah, no. So we are on. Stephen, you take a second here to figure this out, but you can figure out what day we did the interview, what day we've actually posted it twice. Thank you to everybody who supported it, and what day that was posted. So we're on day whatever that is, watch of Hoge. Will he ever watch the Tyson Bagent interview and or read what I wrote, which was so exquisite? We're in a way. I think this is it. It's the new game. Will he ever? And now maybe he just won't ever.
I mean,
we're on day 16. I just counted
16. Okay,
yeah. 16 since it
aired on the live show. And
I don't want to be held to the standard of when it was recorded. It was like 3 months ago. It took like 8 years to produce. So
no. Live show, but then we had the live show.
Not your fault, Stephen.
We had the live show. Then we went and we did a separate, just an all-inclusive to make it even easier for you, which people have the comments are lovely. So we're, the 16. We're on day 16. 1-6.
I gotta say, on Wednesday when you brought this up, I was like, "Oh yeah, duh, I gotta get that done." And then I did not think about it a single time until you just mentioned it again. So now I am actually doubting myself on if I will ever watch it or read it.
Day 16. I mean, I don't know what you're doing tomorrow. The rookies are reporting. Maybe you'll be hanging out outside of Hallis Hall. Could be too busy. What's up, Jacob Stout? Oh, wow.
What's up with those headphones? Because Sean was using those earlier, and they kept falling off his head, too.
This is a slick situation here. So, all right. I'm out of my comfort zone today, but here we are. I had to see my guy, the King. Rate.com was in the building today. So, we're planning up something special come September for Bears fans to come hang out and talk Bears and watch the White Sox and the whole thing. So not to put the cart before the horse, but that's a little special stuff for diehards coming up here.
That sounds good.
Doesn't that sound good?
And yeah, you mentioned that Hoge and Johns being Monday means you don't have to work Monday. It means I have to work 6 days. Which the only reason I bring that up is because when I go get my hair cut this morning and I hear from my guy Marcus does such a great job of making sure this looks like this so it doesn't look like that.
Hey, what's wrong with this?
And he's telling me that you guys spend my entire time on vacation talking about how I'm always on vacation. It's the only reason why I'm going to remind that, all the other parts of the year when I'm working 6 to 7 weeks. And then there's Steven, who just works 7 days a week the entire year.
Yeah. Well, without Steven, we're dead. So that's the way. I mean, and Steven knows that. And so does everybody else around here.
All right. So let's jump into some of the news that did occur. We discussed the second round draft pick situation on Wednesday. As I relayed on that show, I felt like things would probably get done with Ozzy Trapilo and Shemar Turner. Luther Burden is more of the question mark, and we can get into that a little bit more here. But since we had a show, and of course last night's show was a special rank episode on the top 10 what ifs in Bears history, so we really haven't talked about this in 2 days. But yesterday, Turner's deal gets done, Trapilo's deal gets done, and Burden's still out there, with tomorrow being report day for the rookie. So that's kind of where things stand. We did get some information on Trapilo's deal, I think from Albert Breer, that's 72% guaranteed in year 3. So, as I kind of explained the other day, there's sort of this just gradual second round, depending on where you're slotted. Some guys are going to get fully guaranteed early in the round. By the later round, now you get an idea where things stand with Ozzy Trapilo and Shemar Turner. But Luther Burden was drafted at 39, which is in a much more questionable spot right now, because some guys are getting fully guaranteed deals ahead of him. I brought up Tyler Shuck, the Saints quarterback, at 40 the other day, thinking he's pushing for a guaranteed deal. And so it's just got to kind of let this thing play out a little bit. It could get done today, could get done tomorrow. Maybe there is a delay here for a couple days at this point.
So let's do some hypotheticals here. Just for the argument on a beautiful Friday show. Luther Burden comes to the Bears. Hey, I ain't signing until you give me a fully guaranteed deal. This is the way the market's going. I'm number 39 in the second round. You guys obviously know what kind of impact that I can have on this football team. I'm not doing it without a fully guaranteed deal. What do you think the Bears do?
Well, I think this is where it depends what happens around them. So Nick Emenwari, the safety from South Carolina, gets a fully guaranteed deal from the Seattle Seahawks at 35. Now we're at Quinshon Judkins, which, as I mentioned on Wednesday, is another complicated wrinkle in all this, because now he's got legal issues.
See, I would take him off the board, because that his illegal issues to me supersede his right to have a guaranteed deal.
Well, right. And so then it kind of depends on what the Dolphins do then at 37 with Jonah. Don't remember how to say his last name. Savania?
Yeah,
we'll go with that for now. And then Travion Henderson, one spot ahead of Luther Burden. Then there's Tyler Shuck. I mean, this is kind of where's the breaking point going to come in, and or do they just skip? Let's say they hypothetically listen to what you just said. They just skip Judkins. Dolphins give their guy a guaranteed deal. Travion Henderson gets one. Tyler Shuck at 40. I don't know if it would go in that order, but let's just say hypothetically it did. Tyler Shuck gets his. I mean, if you're the Bears, it kind of feels like you have to give Luther Burden then one.
Right.
At 39. And if you're going to put your foot in the ground at that point and say no, because, for whatever reasons, maybe it's, we didn't see you practice all spring. There's questions about your work ethic at Missouri during the week. Like whatever it is, and they put their foot in the ground, well, then Luther Burden has some leverage there to be like, well, the guys around me are all getting it, so I'm not going to show up. That's the situation where I could see this lingering and playing out. I don't know that that's a likely situation, though. I just, if people are wondering how this could end up into a true holdout, I think that's how that would play out to get to that point.
Yeah, and if I was advising Luther Burden, I would say, Luther, you can 95% guarantee, 93%, 97%, whatever. We're not talking about a huge difference in cash here. You're going to be a very highly paid young man with an incredible opportunity. And if you run with this opportunity, you really should be thinking about your second contract immediately, because you are that talented of a guy that could hit in a big time way. So you don't want to put yourself behind the 8 ball. I wouldn't hold out for every last cent here. But the thing is, with Luther, you really don't know what type of advice he's getting and how he's going to play this, which is why when I was hearing the Bears are getting their second round pick signed, I was like, was it Burden? Oh, it was Turner. Was it Burden? Oh, no, it was Trapilo. Like, this is the most complicated guy, not just because he's the highest pick there too, but just, I think, the moving parts that are Luther Burden, the part of the reasons why he dropped in the draft, make this interesting, where I think as a Bears fan, you're kind of wait until it's done. You're kind of going to be a little bit on pins and needles, because he could be a huge part about this team. At least you hope he will be as early as this season.
Yeah. And it's, deadline spur action.
Sure.
And so, maybe we'll get to this point tomorrow. And that'll be the deadline that's needed. I was actually about to look up when it does happen. For the record, I'll just ask the chat right now, do you want me to sing in the moment onto my Instagram some Luther Burden, Beast of Burden combo song in the moment? Like, let's just say it happens Saturday morning, 8:15. You're waking up, you just found out Burden signed. Do you want to be able to turn to Carmen in the moment and hear a Luther Beast of Burden type of situation? Pizzatola, I'm not taking any of your opinions. By the way, Pizzatola, I have a new song for you, which I'll bust out at the appropriate time. That's scary.
Crystal's in, Ross is out. Rogue, where are my fun people? Thank you, Bo Chan. Sing all you want, Carmen.
Where are my fun people?
Okay. All right, I decided it's happening.
So New Orleans, their rookies don't report till the same day as their veterans. So there's a few extra days in there, is my point. The July 22nd.
Right.
New Orleans. Let me see. The other one I was going to look up was New England.
I mean,
New England's the 19th too. And that's the spot. So maybe this does we'll see. We'll figure it out. The bottom line is I'm still not stressed out about this at all. Like, even if it lingers a few days into camp, like, it's fine. The first practice is until next Wednesday.
Sure. But look, the dude missed a bunch of time in OTAs because he was hurt. Now, I didn't get the best reports on his physical condition when he was healthy either. So, just seems to me that Luther Burden, assuming he's healthy, needs to be on the field. That's the other thing. Like, no one's seen him running around. Is he healthy? I don't know. I mean, nobody knows. So hopefully, as you would think, but you got to see the Luther Burden in the Luther Burden action.
Well, Wednesday's the first practice, right? So we'll find out whether it's contract or injury or whatever. Is he on the practice field next Wednesday?
Okay.
I don't know.
Yep.
I still think it's good that these players are pushing for fully guaranteed contracts. It'll be interesting to see where this goes in future years, because it's like every time it goes one more slot, then you're kind of setting the precedent for the future. And I always say, like, the market's the market. The market moves. Like, we talk about this in free agency too, or we talk about it when Jalen Johnson's up for his contract extension last year. The market's the market in that year at that position group. The draft can be a little bit different, but the positions do matter as well. That's why I keep talking about Tyler Shuck, who's a quarterback, and a quarterback who probably will play. So we'll just have to see where this market moves with the slots right ahead of Luther Burden over the next 24, 48 hours.
And bottom line, good job, Bears. You got Turner in the fold. You got Trapilo in the fold, moving things forward here. Good job by you too. Share LA 10 Clay. Mm-hmm. Brand new diehard. She wants me to sing. You know what you love about 10 Clay, Hoge? She does it right before the season starts. Comes to Die Hard right at the right time. Here comes Johns. Here comes 10 Clay.
I was going to say because of Johns. Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
Look at that hat. Look at that shirt. You want that. By the way, if you're an existing diehard, you can buy those too. It's just if you're not a diehard, you can get that deal. I don't know. I might just have to go both.
Look, can't go wrong. Both great options. Go big or go home. They say 59 for the hat. Let's go.
All right. Coming up next, the Carm is a research project. He's given the interns I didn't even know we had. we have interns.
We don't, but we have people that work here that act. Well, we don't have interns, but there's a unbelievable, incredible young talent here, Max Mears, who's on the sales side, but he's expressed an interest in football. And I had a brilliant idea. Let's let Max experience all parts of the business. And so I wanted to, since the Bears are being so highly ranked with their offensive line, I wanted to see if the numbers would bear it out. So I put Max to the test. Now I'm going into a tease here, Hoge, but we can't talk about that now because we have something that we have to do for 2 minutes. But our O-line breakdown.
What I was doing, Mr. Radio Man, for 40 years was getting to a tease to go to the break for the next segment.
But first,
just like your favorite team needs a home field advantage, your home needs a home floor advantage. And Empire Today can help you get exactly that. Empire Today is flooring experts. They are dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring every single day. You've been in those big box stores. You wander all those aisles. Somehow you're bringing all those materials home yourself. You're looking for an installer. You're coordinating everything by yourself. That's why you need Empire, because Empire Today lives and breathes flooring. They're going to be with you every step of the way. They're going to come to you and help you pick the right flooring and the right colors for your space so you can see how it looks in your house with your furniture. Get precise measurements taken, have all your questions answered so there's no surprises. Schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. CHGO listeners can receive a $350 discount when using promo code CHGO. Yes, that's right. $350 discount with code CHGO. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/CHGO for full details.
If you live in beautiful Cook County, then you love Cook County, but you also hate paying Cook County taxes. And that's why we brought you our friends from Ownwell, because they are going to do their very best to lower your taxes at no fee to you. They only charge you if they actually lower the taxes. This is the beauty of it. And it's super easy to sign up with Ownwell, as they will get you going here. And by the way, Ownwell, 25% contingent fee, meaning you only pay if the property taxes are reduced. Put money back in your pocket. 86% of Ownwell customers receive a deduction. On average, that's a saving of $1,102 a year. That's a lot of money. Save money on Cook County property tax with Ownwell. Sign up in less than 3 minutes. Start your appeal now. Ownwell.com/cook. That's OWNWELL.com/cook. Takes 3 minutes.
All right. Keeping things rolling here on CHGO, Carm's amazing research project.
It's just,
that he farmed out. But let's talk about the Jets. This is a serious conversation about the offensive line. I'll let you set it up, Carm, like where you were coming from on this.
So, and Steven, get in here too, but Pro Football Focus ranked the Bears offensive line 4th in the NFL, which I was like, whoa, that seems a little crazy. And number one, they haven't played together at all. You've got 3 brand new parts and maybe 4 at left tackle if Braxton Jones can't get healthy, and it's either Ozzy Trapilo or Karan Amagaji. So I'm like, that is just an absolute bet on your numbers analysis rather than the gelling of an offensive line, which is fine. I get it. That's whatever. Maybe these guys will figure out how to play with each other. You're making that leap. But I was like, does this bear out at all numbers wise as far as how many Pro Bowlers and how many years a guy has made the Pro Bowl on a roster? And it sort of does, at least to the NFC North. because the Bears. So the assignment that I gave, if I didn't explain it fully clearly, is I want you to go to each team's offensive line, take all 5 starters, and add up how many years guys on that offensive line have made the Pro Bowl. And for the Bears, the answer is 4. Joe Thuney, 3 years. Jonah Jackson, 1 year. Okay, so Jackson also was an alternate, as Steven pointed out when he made it. So we're bending it a little bit here, but he was on the Pro Bowl team. So obviously none for Braxton or Ozzy or Karan. Thuney's got 3. Dahlman's never been a Pro Bowler. Darnell Wright's never been a Pro Bowler. 4. Now that does happen to put the Bears tied at the top in the NFC North. Penei Sewell's been there 3 times for the Lions, along with Taylor Decker 1 time. The interior, because they lost their center, there is nobody else on there. So 4 for the Lions, 4 for the Bears. Packers is only Elgton Jenkins, 2, their starting center, and the Vikings have only 2 in Ryan Kelly, who of course did it with the Colts. Darrisaw Jackson, Will Freeze. These guys have never made the Pro Bowl. So as much as you hear the big time names and big time money moving around, as far as actually making the Pro Bowl, which is a high bar to cross, in the division, the Bears are tied at the top with Detroit. So I found that to be interesting. Now in the NFC, your top is the Philadelphia Eagles with 10. Lane Johnson has made it 6 times at right tackle. Landon Dickerson's made it 3 times at left guard. Cam Jurgens has made it once at center. So 10. The Commanders, if you're looking at, how did Jaden Daniels have so much success? Who's playing in front of him? Well, they got 8 times. They got Laramie Tunsil playing left tackle, who's been a Pro Bowler 5 times. And then the center, badass, Tyler Biadasz, whatever, 3 of them. And Biadasz, thank you, badass.
Badger.
Yeah. Nick Allegretti hasn't done it. Neither has Josh Connerly. But so 8 for the Commanders, 8 for the Eagles. The Giants have 2, and the Cowboys have 2. So, and if you go into the South, Atlanta, 0. The top in the South is the Buccaneers. That's all Tristan Wirfs. And then if you go out west, 0s across the board, with the exception of the San Francisco 49ers, where Trent Williams has made it 11 times. So I just think it's an interesting exercise in looking at, as far as pure performance and how the league has viewed players, where do the Bears rank? And being number 4, it's a big time leap. But when you look at the actual number of Pro Bowlers across the land, it's not as big of a leap as I actually thought, considering the Joe Thuney factor here. And hopefully, who knows? With Thuney there, Hoge, Mr. Thuney, maybe Drew Dahlman becomes that all-pro center in the middle. You never know.
Well, he's certainly up there among the best, and I think, when I first, this is a rare case where I actually am okay with doing Pro Bowl as the measurement stick, as opposed to all pro, because I think when you're talking about the best of the best, all pro matters more. And so just for example, Joe Thuney, he's only been in the Pro Bowl 3 times, but he has 4 all pro nods.
So that's
how does that work?
Yeah.
But that being said, even if you're an alternate that makes the Pro Bowl, at minimum it means you don't suck. You know what I mean? So when we're trying to go for the idea of who's got an overall at least set of good, even if not all of them are great offensive line, I think this is an okay barometer to use. And yeah, it is a little jarring, shocking to see the Bears up there gaining respect with their offensive line, because we're not used to it. I think that's just part of it. But when you do what they did and bring in 3 new guys, you hope they're good. But it's been part of the problem, Carmen. They've done this in the past, right? But they've done it with not high caliber guys. They're this Nate Davis guy. Yeah, well, that didn't work. And that's not to say that all of these guys are going to work. We don't know. But they put more money into it. They traded for two of the guys. So it's you get what you pay for in this league, and it should work out better.
It's also, part of this. Yes, big time investment should work out better. Agree on all of that. Football offseason hope 101 here. You better not. Come on, Ryan Poles. You got most of this right? Good. But if you look across the league, it's very rare that you have a team that's got Pro Bowlers all over the offensive line. Like it's generally limited to. Even the Chiefs. Creed Humphreys has made it 3 times, and Trey Smith, who they're paying, you just paid record money to a right guard. Trey Smith's been a Pro Bowler 1 time. Now, that's not to say I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but it's just to have actual balance. My right tackle is a Pro Bowler, my left tackle. It doesn't really exist across the league. Very, very rare. The Eagles and the Commanders at the top of the list. So we're winning the Super Bowl, Hoge. That's what Max Meir did here with this work, and I thank him for it. Caused a whole lot of stir around the office. I'm never asking anybody to do anything around here ever again.
Did it really? What kind of stir did it cause?
Oh, so, other people, it says like, why are you doing work for Carm?
Oh,
that type of stuff. And I'm like, because I deserve, because this was an important project. And I was trying to look out for, the full experience. I don't know what it was like for you as an intern, Hoge, at WGM, but I'm pretty certain you got the full experience. It was like you were an employee.
Oh yeah.
See,
it was intern / executive producer of Sports Central.
That's right. At 18, 19, whatever you were.
I was out of school. I was 22.
Okay, fine. You were 22. Great.
Yeah.
Nobody elevates people quicker than I do. I'm a talent negotiator. I'm a talent assessor, and I promote quickly.
Well, I think it's a matter of experience, which I always say is most valuable, right? Your strategy is, I'm going to show you everything not to do, and you're going to do everything that needs to be done.
That's right.
And you're going to get all that great experience.
Right. Exactly.
While I take a nap.
I was tired. Stressful gig, that 2-hour show.
Yeah.
Dealing with Cap every day.
Do you have the I don't have this in front of me. Do you have the overall PFF offensive line?
I don't have it in front of me, and I should too, but that's hold on.
I was just kind of curious, like who. Oh, here it is. So we got
Eagles were
no surprise. Denver Broncos,
who have no Pro Bowlers, by the way, none.
Yeah. Well, and by the way, it's PFF, so they're always using their grades when they do this. Like they're just looking at, hey, these are the player grades. This is how it averages out across the whole offensive line. Did you guys already read what they wrote on this?
We can do it again. Don't worry.
Yeah.
If the dirty dog heard it twice, it's okay.
Yeah, well, so he said things are set to look a lot different in Chicago. Not only is the offensive line remolded, but it's also perhaps the most improved unit in the NFL. Hopefully. Braxton Jones and Darnell Wright, who both finished among the 22 highest graded offensive tackles in 2024. That's a good side note. Don't forget that PFF likes Braxton Jones. They were already a promising young duo. Now the unit has 3 new interior starters who represent immediate upgrades. Trade acquisition Joe Thuney has been the best pass blocking guard in the NFL in recent years, and free agent center Jude Dahlman ranked among the top 5 at his position in PFF overall grades in each of the past 2 seasons. If right guard Jonah Jackson can stay healthy and get back to his old form, this can be one of the NFL's top offensive lines. What a weird thing to read about the Bears.
Speak it into existence, baby. Top O-line is showing up next Wednesday, ready to rock and roll. Joe Thuney and Ozzy Trapilo are going to smile at everybody, and it's just going to take off, damn it. Drew Dahlman's going to work his ass off.
Makes me more excited. I mean, I'm always excited to get the pads on. I don't know what day it's going to be next week yet. We'll find out soon, but maybe Friday. I don't know. But let's get some pads on. Let's see what this looks like up front with this offensive line. For real. And then please stay healthy. All right. Coming up next, we're going to go back to my roster tiers project I did, a couple of months ago now. with the idea of, look, good teams in the NFL, really any sport, right? But they become better throughout the season because of what? Development. Guys get better. They move from one tier to the next. Other guys get worse. They fall out. But a lot of the development happens in the offseason and it happens in training camp. So we're going to look at some guys on my roster tiers who I think could be prime candidates to move up, actually get better in training camp, solidify their spot, not only on the roster, but, in the standing of the organization going forward. So we'll take a look at that coming up next year on the CHGO Bears podcast. But first, we are in the heart of summer. You're feeling the heat, and I hope your home's air conditioning is up for the challenge. And whether it is or it isn't, you should be calling Four Seasons. Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. They've been serving the Chicagoland area for over 50 years. And if you haven't done it already, now is the time to get your air conditioning checked out. Four Seasons experts are ready to help you with AC installation, maintenance, and repair. Four Seasons expert technicians ensure that you're always receiving reliable service. And the best part is Four Seasons, they're not charging more for service during the nights, weekends, and holidays, because when things break down, it always seems like it's the worst time. So call Four Seasons, schedule your Four Seasons AC tune-up today. Save $50 and you'll enjoy a 1-year no breakdown guarantee. Your trusted local experts are Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com.
Hey, we are headed off to Las Vegas, where it's also pretty hot, but we're going to make it cool for you because it's going to be a first-class trip via our friends at True Fan Travel. We're taking over Bears, Raiders, September 25th weekend, all-inclusive trip, 3-night stay at the Premium Vegas Resort, which is going to be sweet. Tickets to the game, which are super expensive, VIP parties, Hoge dancing with Braggs, everything you can imagine. Unforgettable events with the CHGO crew and fellow fans, and so much more. I will put my own little special something onto this outstanding weekend.
I got a group of possibly 8 guys coming.
Oh, boy, this is
40th
exciting.
Birthday situation going on. And by the way, we're staying at Mandalay Bay. Doesn't get better than that.
Don't gamble on missing out on the ultimate fan experience. Book your spot now. TrueFanTravel.com. TrueFanTravel.com.
Yes. Vegas is coming. Starting to sneak up on us, by the way. We're only 2 months out.
You have 15 friends?
I know, it's shocking.
Are these Badgers? Who are these people?
No, it's I don't know, honestly.
Okay. I mean, if I had one friend that would come, it'd be a big deal. Maybe I could get Rob Gins out there. The Gins, he's a big guy.
Well, we went on this golf trip last week. We're pretty much all 39. We got 40th birthdays coming up this year. We started discussing different plans.
Maybe Solo wants to come. Maybe Blake will come. My guys from our last golf outing, I made friends. They like me.
I think you're just making up people right now.
No, Solo's out there. He doesn't do things solo. He's a partner, but he does it in a solo way. Thank you. Let's get back on point here, Hoge. What are you doing? Why are you derailing the show? This is a very important Friday ahead of training camp show. I know we got training camp risers and fallers or whatever you named this. Yeah. I'm excited.
All right. We're going to talk about some guys that I think and this kind of comes back to, so first of all, let me set the stage. If you happen to miss my roster tiers, maybe I'll tweet it out again today at some point in case you missed it. So, big project worked on after the draft to rank all 91 players on this Bears roster. But more importantly, put them in the tiers, similar tiers that NFL teams do on a grading scale, which I've adapted a little bit over the years based on, because not all the grading systems are the same. A few that I like that are real, NFL ones, and then kind of tweaking it to how it makes sense in my own brain too. So real quick, you got your blue players, your all pros. You got your red players, which are good starters that you win because of. You got your purple players who are solid starters that you win with. Ideally, everybody starting for you on a given Sunday in the NFL is in those three tiers. Kind of draw a line right under that, the purple tier, and the goal is to not have to start anybody behind that line. Everybody below that line should be backups and or guys that help you a lot on special teams still. That can be there. But your starters on offense and defense ideally are above that line. But below that, you have your green players, which are young developmental players, most of your draft picks. So this is kind of where we're getting into an area where, like, which one of these guys can establish themselves as starters in training camp and move up so that week one, they're technically not, young developmental players that are being forced to start too soon is the idea. Then you have your orange players, your backup special teamers, and then below that, your yellow players, 90-man roster fillers. So those are the guys that unlikely to make the team, could be practice squad players, maybe make a case during camp to surprise and actually make the 53-man roster, but usually that's a tough go of it. So I'm going to actually start with a player who's already above the line and established as a starter. But Carmen, I did this project. I struggled to put this player in the red tier as a good starter that you win because of. And that was Odunze, who right now I have as a solid starter that you win with, who on this very specific line he's on has the potential to become a red player. Now, I think we would all like to think that he has actually got the potential to become a blue player. He was a top 10 pick. He has the talent. We'd all like to think that this guy can become one of the best wide receivers in the league. So that's what I'm saying where, all right, we've removed Keenan Allen from the situation. We've brought Ben Johnson in. Antoine Randall, wide receivers coach. Caleb Williams getting better, offensive line getting better, all these things. If they line up, to me, Odunze is a player that I would look at here in the month of late July, early August, preseason, that by the time we get to week one, I could potentially look at him and be like, you know what? What he's shown, he does have the potential to become a blue player. He should move up to where I have Caleb, which is already in a spot of the red tier.
So I'll tell you one guy who agrees with you on this without question, and his name is Odunze. All right. That guy is going about his business to be as close to the top of the NFL wide receivers going. And that was underlined by Ben Johnson, who really singled him out as one guy that's doing everything right. Now, in this offense, how much better is he with a Caleb Williams hitting, 10% better, 20% better, 30% better, an offensive line that's 25% better, 50% better, 75% better. I mean, everything that they have done should allow Rome to take the leap that you're talking about here. So if it doesn't happen, honestly, it'd be a huge disappointment because it doesn't have to happen tomorrow, the first 6 weeks of the season, but we should see, I would think, a very solid trend with Rome this year. Plus, I mean, let's be honest. Right now, who's the number 2? Him. Who's pushing him at number 3? I'm not sure. Like, is Luther really? I mean, and maybe it would help him if there's more competition there. But my point being is that he's gonna the football should be coming his way a whole lot. That is what I'm trying to get at.
And look, like this is the first year I've really done this, and I'm gonna kind of look at it throughout training camp. So my instinct's telling me not to move too much around until we see games, right? Because the games matter. And I'm not talking about preseason games. I'm talking about regular season games. So when I look at Caleb Williams, an obvious player to move up, I need to see that in the games, but I think Rome, I'm singling out Rome here because I kind of struggle with I didn't want to overdo it with where I put him in this project. So I'm willing to, rise him back up into a player who I believe can be a blue player if he shows it on the practice field and has a good training camp. So that's kind of the point of this segment here, what we're talking about. Right. Steven asked in our private chat, where I had Darnell Wright in all this, and I had him similar where I had Caleb Williams, which is within the red tier, and specifically on a line of players that have the potential to become blue. I still think Darnell Wright can become one of the best offensive tackles in the league, and I think he's already established himself as a good starter that you win because of. But I do think it's a big year for him. I think so. I think that I would put him similarly to Caleb, where I don't know how much I can move him up just based off of practices in the preseason. Like, I need to see him go out there and have a dominant season actually on Sundays before I'm going to move him up anymore.
Fair to Hoge grades, but Steven, you want to get in here? I see you moving the head around.
Yeah, for me, I think Darnell Wright has a really good chance of, jumping up a tier this year just because of what's next to him now. We have Jonah Jackson there. Carmen, you mentioned earlier when we were talking about the old lines. Yeah, he's made a Pro Bowl before. Compare that to Nate Davis. He's never had anyone either available or, let's just call it, better than average on next to him at right guard. This will be the first time he actually has that, and I think that alone is a multiplier for him, where he has less mistakes for the guy next to him to cover up. Couple that with some of the cadence issues we saw last year getting solved, because I'm sure Ben Johnson will help solve them. And I really do think Darnell Wright has a chance to be a Pro Bowler this season.
Well, it did look good, though, when Tevin Jenkins was there for 5 seconds, the two of them. Like, that was an exciting little moment, like that pairing. So to your point, maybe it can look a whole lot more like that. I just think in general, because Darnell's young, and to have the level of accountability that's in that room right now with Joe Thuney and Drew Dahlman, along with just the entire leadership of the new Bears coaching staff, to your hopes there, Steven, I do think that it's a very good chance that Darnell Wright makes a huge jump this year, even a big of enough jump that Hoge might move him up in his tiers even before the season, damn it, which is what we're talking about right now. You never know.
We'll see. I mean, this is going to be one of the laminated pieces of paper I have out there. I'm gonna keep this thing in front of me. We're going to be making some notes on there with some Sharpies, and
did you
nerd out.
Did you give John the laminated thing last year? Even because you were teammates, but you weren't teammates here. Did he get one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hoge, I got one more for you I want to ask about. I don't know if you ranked him yet because he's an incoming rookie, but where'd you have Kyle Monangai on that list?
Yeah, so Kyle Monangai is in the green tier of young players with upside, and you know what? I'm glad you brought him up because he's probably not somebody I'd move up. I'm trying to visualize this for people because they can't see it, but I'm probably not going to move him up into a starter tier, right? But there are within every tier, there's different levels. So within the green, for example, we have players that have the potential to become blue. So those are usually like your first, like Colson Loveland, right? You drafted that guy 10th overall. You're hoping that he becomes one of the best tight ends in the league. And then on the bottom end of the green tier, you're hoping guys that just become solid starters. Those are like your 7th round picks, like Kyle Monangai. So that's where I have Kyle Monangai right now. But can he in camp and in preseason we're going in week 1. This dude, I don't know if he's going to be a starter, probably not over DeAndre Swift, but he could be somebody that earns reps, becomes a bigger part of the offense. And so he could be somebody that moves up within that green tier before the season starts. Absolutely.
Look, we need to, I don't want to give away great ideas to the masses, but we need a I'm a Monangai t-shirt. Are you a Monangai? I'm a Monangai. Because that dude has a great opportunity to impact this team and get himself off to a hell of an NFL start with the Bears running back room, plus the offensive line, plus the offense, plus the fact that Ben Johnson knows how to run the football. So I think those shirts would go like hotcakes. I'm a Monangai. And
I think we're all going to be Monangais if he has this good training camp, because we're all kind of looking around like, most Bears fans, myself included, were waiting for something a little bit more substantial to be added at running back this offseason. And it's not a knock on DeAndre Swift. It's just a matter of, we're looking for a little bit more there. And if Monangai shows what we've seen a little bit of at Rutgers, that toughness, at the very least, he could be a very interesting, short yardage back and a good change of pace guy.
All right, I'm going to give you one more before we break. And by the way, shout out to Jonathan Odden, who's winning me over on this show. He's all about the lamination, and he's in Kauai.
And I got to shout out to Bro Delicious, who has written and sent me in our Discord a Luther Burden song that might just have to be delivered before the end of this show. Because Bro Delicious,
another one of your interns that you farmed some. Now you got him writing your songs.
I got Bro Delicious on the payroll, man.
Songwriters on your team.
Bro Delicious writes a good tune. He just spit it out like in 5 seconds because that's what Bro Delicious does. Become a diehard, and you can get to know Bro Delicious on another level.
Give us one line.
I want to see guarantees for Burden. Year to QB and Colson's hurting. All I want is record-breaking quantities. I mean, this guy's, look at Bro Delicious.
Going Rolling Stones. That's way better than anything Carmen has written. I think this is a great development.
Yeah, maybe I'll just sing all of Bro Delicious' song. Bears gotta pay green fees for Burden. A yak machine. The offense hurting. He'll help us join the 21st century. 'Cause he's fast enough. He's tough enough. Make him rich enough. Bears fans like Pizzatola are on their knees. I put the Pizzy in there. Good job, Bro Delicious.
No way. We could have. It was like right on a tee to have a great line there, and then Carm messed it up. So that makes sense.
He says message him if I want verse 2. You're messaged.
All right, I got one more player I was going to bring up. I'll do it on the other side of the break. One more player that I think can move up in the roster tiers throughout training camp. That's coming up next. But first, new vehicles are in store at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This is your chance to score a great deal at the Employee Pricing Plus sales event. Right now, you can lease a new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab for only $399 a month for 27 months. Plus, they always have at least 125 vehicles priced under $20,000 for you. The expert team at Ray CDJR is here to help you during each step of your car shopping journey. They prioritize affordability, so you know that you're not overpaying for the vehicle that you need. And with Ray's Price Promise, you can shop confidently with no add-ons or hidden fees ever. Price you see is the price you pay. It's that simple. So go check out our partner today to shop one of the Chicago area's largest inventories. Don't miss out on the Employee Pricing Plus sales event for huge savings on the Ram 1500. For more information, visit Ray CDJR today on Route 12 in Fox Lake or online at raycdjr.com.
Shout out to our friends at Gametime Tickets. If you are looking for the best value on the secondary market, you want to do it with our friends at Gametime. Last minute tickets, zone deals, one of my favorite things. I'm willing to sit over here. I don't need to know my exact seat. Give me 10, 12, 15% off. They do that on Gametime. That's a sweet little add-on that a lot of places do not have. Save up to 60% buying last minute tickets for sports, for concerts, for comedy, for theater, all the good things. Lowest price guarantee as well. Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference. If you find a better price somewhere else, they'll hook you up. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download that Gametime app, create an account, use the code CHGO. You get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, use the redeem code CHGO, $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. You want to go see the Cubs and Red Sox this weekend? Best prices right there. Gametime tickets. Be there.
All right. One more player. I don't know if this is going to shock some people or not, but it's genuinely how I feel. I think Gervon Dexter has a great chance to move up here. You know, I know I've been kind of labeled a hater on him, and I think it's been misconstrued because it really doesn't have to do with his talent. It has more to do with how the Bears have used him. And I think he's in a much better position now to have success in this scheme. Despite the fact that they went out and they got Grady Jarrett. But I think he's going to play more one technique. I think he's going to have more success there. I think there's a good chance of that. So now we get to see it, right? Because we haven't been able to see it with the pads on. We're going to get to see him go up against this good offensive line. Like, let's see what it looks like. We just spent a whole segment talking about how good the offensive line is and the interior of the offensive line. Well, let's see one of these interior defensive guys go head-to-head in one-on-ones throughout training camp. And I think there's a good chance that Gervon Dexter, who, is still in that green for me in third year, that's not good. Like, you don't want in the green tier. You want them to have already established themselves as starters, but it's a guy that still has potential. Terrell Smith's also in the green tier, somebody who's going into year 3. But I think Gervon Dexter can kind of reestablish himself as a player who could still have the potential to become a red starter, a good starter that you win because of, with a very solid training camp. And right now, I kind of consider him more of a guy who, with what we've seen so far, still has the potential to become a purple tier player. But I'm willing to move him up with the dominant training camp.
So, well, I know one thing. Of guys that I'm rooting for on this team to be successful, Gervon is near or at the top of the list. He's first class Gervon Dexter, great dude. And you look at, the physical features, you're like, whoa, I see why the Bears fell in love with him and hoped that he would be able to, be a big time impact guy, despite, coming into the league with all the questions of his get off and all these things. I do think he's better set up. This does flip us back into earlier in the week. If my key to the defense, Dangbo is making an impact off one of the edges and Montez Sweat is doing the same, well, things are starting to get a whole lot easier in the middle. Because, I think we have learned right now that Gervon Dexter Sr. is not a guy that is going to do it on his own. He is not Jalen Carter. He's not a game wrecker himself. However, could he get to what you're talking about with better pieces around him and he gets lifted up as well? Outside of the fact of just getting better, entering his third year, this is a guy entering his prime. One of my more enjoyable offseason moments was asking him, have you been lifting? Are you looking bigger? And or are you bigger? And he's he flexed out, said, can you tell? I'm like, yeah, I can. So, hey, he's putting in the time, man. He wants it. He's hungry. Talent around him is better. DA, let's go. How are you going to use this guy? I think, hey, it's I don't know if it will happen, but it could happen. And hopefully, he's just going to barge through the door this year and he'll become a huge story, not just with the Bears, but across the NFL. Look at this guy. Look at 99.
I don't know how you say that name or how you want that. Dan G94. Thank you, CHGO, for making this offseason fly by with the podcast season around the corner. Thank you guys for helping us make it fly by too, because, without all the daily interaction and those of you that, still stick with us throughout the offseason, it helps us too. So thank you very much. We had back-to-back questions there that actually have the same answer. So I'm going to bring it up. One said, where'd you have Austin Booker ranked? And then who do you think is most danger of falling down? Now, I don't know if this is the guy I would say has the most danger of falling down, but to answer both of these questions together, it's interesting because I actually have Austin Booker in the same exact spot I have Gervon Dexter, which are green tier players, young developmental players with upside that I have sort of stuck between, do I think this guy can still become a really good starter that you win because of, or just a solid starter that you win with? Like, just, it's hard to figure that out right now with these two. And right now, the way I feel after the offseason program, I feel much more bullish about Gervon Dexter moving up than I do Austin Booker. I just didn't see enough of him. Didn't like the Dom Rob and kind of like lapped him in reps. And I also wonder about how he has the length for a Dennis Allen type defensive end, but he does not have the overall size. So I just think that that's going to be super interesting to watch in training camp, but I'm looking at the fit and I'm just a little bit worried about it. I don't know if it necessarily falls down, but I could kind of, if I have them both here at the same spot, I could see it ending up like this, with Dexter being ahead of them by the time camp's over.
Austin does feel a little bit more boom or bust to me, and I still do give him an outside chance of booming. I mean, my guy Al Harris, who I mentioned at least once a show, seemingly. I mean, he was all over Booker. Like, remember Richard Dent when he came in out of Tennessee State? Dude was skinny as hell and got bigger, and then became a Hall of Famer. I mean, he was comping Booker to Dent, which I thought was insane, and maybe is insane. But the guy who's played the game saying that, it was at least worth noting. And Booker's he's got a big motor as far as working. I mean, we'll have to see what he looks like. That's, that'll be one of the, like, my first look arounds at training camp. How big has 94, spun himself into with 6 months of work? What's he able to do? So it was obviously a huge off season for him, and they were working out together. So I'm sure he's been putting in the time.
All right, let's get to supers and wrap things up on this last week of the off season before training camp is officially here.
We got a second verse from Bro Delicious too. It's outstanding.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Jonathan Otten, $10. Aloha. Carm teasing his song. I am in. Bring on the fun. Also, the Bears and Kauai diehard meetup was a great success. Love the diehard community. This is this is the stuff, by the way. So we tweeted this out yesterday on CHGO Bears, or retweeted. But yeah, when a couple diehards get together halfway across the Pacific Ocean and are meeting up because of this community that we've built here, that's the type of stuff that gets, I just want you to know, get shared internally within within the company. We love stuff like this. Nepali Brewing Company, we need to work on the spelling of Kauai in that tweet, but we'll forgive. Should have gone to Nepali Brewing Company is good too. You could Kauai Beer Company, before you leave Kauai, you got to go there too. Got to hit it up. I love it. I wish I was there. Give me more notice next time, Jonathan, and I'll fly.
First of all, Bears on Kauai, phenomenal. Jake Arrieta style. I don't know what NFL. Who in the NFL has that beard? Oh, can you comp that out real quick?
Jay, it's like a Fitzmagic beard.
Yeah, it is a little Fitzmagic. That's good.
Yeah.
He's got some Fitzmagic. That's awesome. You guys look like you're having a hell of a time, and good job on the beverage intake there. It's strong.
Yeah, I love it. I'm jealous. Snidbit, $5. Said, haven't been here live too long. Carm, so sorry for your loss. Never easy to lose a parent at any age. Lighter note, happy Friday, bear down.
Snidbit, thank you so much. Karen, Freddie around me this week. He's, I've got the heaviness, but I've also got a lot of lightness. It's been a time here, but thank you for that, and thank you to everyone really for the support that I've gotten. So appreciate one and all.
And somebody named Braggs in the stands, $5. Here I thought Carm had a professional setup. Also, Emma is holding my drink, and Sarah has bad nails. Per Fred.
I don't think that's my dad, Fred. Awkward time for Fred to be thrown in here. He's risen up and is showing up in the bleachers in some weird way.
Maybe.
Yeah. That's upsetting. Stop enabling him, Emma. Sarah, let him do what he does. Steven, stop this.
Stop enabling him. Braggs in his stands, another $5. Steven with the golf polo. Cute of him to think he's allowed to golf today. Get to work. Boy, he just loves rubbing it in when he's in the bleachers.
I will be golfing today, though.
Yeah.
And I'm going to shoot an 85 just to spite him, because he said he shot an 86 the other day.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to challenge both of you guys to actually get a USGA handicap and get on the app. So
I have the Grint. I use the Grint. It's not.
But the official one where I can follow it too. I can follow what your actual scores are. What?
You can follow me on the Grint.
I don't know what that is.
It's an app. It's free.
Okay. Become a diehard on the last as we leave you on the TV. Appreciate everybody. Hoge and John's deal, $59 for the hat, $36 just to get on in with the t-shirt. And you just get access to things like Bro Delicious, who's able to just instantly write me songs off the Discord. Why would you not want to be involved in this chat? You ready for this one, Hoge? You ready?
Yes.
Pauls and George, please meet with Burden. Give him bags. Keep us certain Johnson's got the weapons it needs. Ooh, yeah, Brody. Please guarantee camp starts with Burden. Don't let him sit with Braxton hurting. We really want our first 4,000 QB. We can end it. That's solid, right?
It's brilliant.
Let's sing the route tree. I don't know the rest. I'm off kilter here.
You know what? The lyrics are great. I'd recommend finding a different singer, but then we might actually have a hit.
Oh, so you never need. You got pretty birds. You get corners quickly turn. He's got crispy girls. That's why you stayed to the end of the show. You guys needed this. And you did show up at the wrong time on that one, Golden Boy Paul. I rarely throw myself under the bus, but that was horrible. That was horrible. Extremely horrible.
Let's end the week with the perfect way. A $20 super chat from Crystal. We love you, Crystal. Thanks, guys. Great show today. See you next week at training camp. Don't be shy. If you see me, let's go. Love you guys always. Bear down. That kind of goes
first day.
Yeah. If it kind of goes for everybody. If you're coming out to training camp, we'll bring this up next week too. Like, definitely do not be afraid to say hello. Depending on what part of practice it is, we might be dialed in, but and not be able to like stop and chat for a long time. But don't be afraid to say hello. And bring your CHGO and your Hoge Johns gear out there. We want to see it. Represent.
And a reminder, Hoge does have the power walk when he's going from the building to his seat, but he's also deeply wants you to say hello. And I'm never doing anything at training camp, so say hello to me the whole time, because I have a minute for you. I have 10 minutes for you. When they do the 2-minute drill, I'm dialed in. But I mean, come on. You get a little lengthy out there. Any divergence is welcome. Believe me, I'll catch up if I miss something.
So funny.
Hoge's got his binoculars. He's got 3 notebooks with him. He's got lamination. I mean, I got my phone. I'm taking notes. Carm training camp notes. Nobody tops him, but I want to say hi. So say hello.
This is actually old. I need to put this in the shredder.
Once you laminate,
clean up my desk. How does my desk somehow gets messy when I'm not working? When I'm working and I'm in the zone, this thing's nice and clean. I go on vacation and all of a sudden there's like piles of crap on here. I don't get it.
That's not good. Hey, what time is Hoge Johns airing on Monday, by the way?
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, it's not live. It's not live, so it'll be premiering, and it depends on. I think we're recording at 9 a.m. So I think it makes sense to put it out at noon since there's no CHGO Bears show, right? We could just have this production meeting right here at the end of the show on Friday.
Noon is good.
Steven, that makes sense to you?
You guys want it at noon? What time do people want it?
I think we'll be able to get it up at noon. There's going to be no other shows going on during that time, so that makes the most sense. That's when people know to tune in anyway.
Noon on Monday. Get it. And by the way, Hoge Johns now, you can go to hogejohns.com, and that takes you to the Die Hard page where the merch is and all that stuff that we've been talking about. So hogejohns.com, that's up and running. Shout out to Will DeWitt, who went through unbelievable lengths of effort and internet traps and who knows all that. There was way too much needed to be done there to get that all figured out. But Will is way smarter than we are when it comes to that stuff, and that was awesome.
Get it up at noon. You're a funny man, Balake. And I gotta go see Jaqueline. We got stuff to do here, so
yeah. Okay.
Time to go, Hoge.
Yeah, I agree. Steven, hit him straight today. Brags, I hope the Cubs lose. I don't really hope the Cubs lose.
Yeah,
Actually, I desperately want them to win.
Well,
please win.
Winning would be good.
Winning would be good for all of us.
I'll see you Tuesday. And when, of course, Luther Burden signs, Carm tune coming out for you.
All right. We're all looking forward to that. Monday, Hogan Johns. Cannot wait. See everybody there. That's on the Hogan Johns channel. If you're not, that's something I should mention. If you're not subscribed to the Hogan Johns YouTube channel, go subscribe because that's where that show is going to be. We will talk to you on Monday there. Tuesday's report day camp. We'll have a brand new episode of CHGO Bears Podcast. I think that's going to be rolling at 3 p.m. on Tuesday. And then we are back into the camp grind. Cannot wait. Talk to you next week. It'll be fun. See you then.
We all silly like the mayor.